Good morning, students. In the previous chapter, we completed with the process of digestion. Now we come to the third step in the process of nutrition, that is absorption. What was the first step? The first step of nutrition is ingestion. The second one is digestion, and the third one is absorption. Now, the process of digestion gets completed in the small intestine. But not only the digestion gets completed, but the process of absorption also takes place in the small intestine. And what is absorption? Absorption is simply the process of absorbing the nutrients. Okay? And who does this? In the inner walls of small intestine, there are finger-like outgrowths like this. Okay? Finger-like outgrowths which are present in the small intestine. These are on the inner wall. Okay? On the inner wall of small intestine, these finger-like outgrowths are present. And what does this do? What are they called as? They are called as villi. Okay? And this villi, what is the function of villi? It increases the surface area for absorption. Now, how? I will tell you. For example, this is a thread. Okay? This is maybe of 1.5 or 2 centimeter. Okay? And now, I have drawn here the figure of villi. Now, this is also of the equal length. Now, if you open this villi, what will happen? You can see obviously this figure will be bigger than this. So clear? So what is it doing? The surface area, if you open this, the surface area has increased. So this is what the villi do. The villi, it increases the surface area for absorption. Clear? Now, when all the nutrients are absorbed, now the absorbed materials are ready to be transported to different parts of the organs. And this procedure is called as assimilation. This is the fourth procedure in the step of nutrition. Okay? So what is assimilation? Assimilation means the absorbed nutrients are transported to different organs so that it can be utilized by the body. So now after assimilation, whatever food that we are eating is ready to be sent to different parts of the body. Clear? Now, still there are some undigested food material. Now these undigested food materials are transported to the large intestine. Okay? Now, you can see the length of the large intestine is 1.5 meter long. And it's very, very small as compared to the small intestine. What was the length of small intestine? It is 7.5 meters. And large intestine is 1.5 meters long. What is the function of the large intestine? Large intestine absorbs water and salt from the undigested food. See, I told you that the undigested food reaches the large intestine. So whatever water and salts are there in the undigested food, the large intestine absorbs it. And then whatever waste is remaining, that is removed through the anus in the form of feces. I hope you all know what are feces. You must have studied in the previous class. So this procedure of removing the waste material through anus is called as egestion. Okay, it is egestion. This is the fifth step of nutrition. If you remember, children, I had told you in the beginning there are 5 steps in nutrition. The first one is ingestion, then digestion, then absorption, then fourth one is assimilation, and the final one is egestion. Do not get confused between ingestion and egestion. Okay? Ingestion, if you remember, I told you, ingestion is the process of taking in the food. This is the first step of nutrition. Okay? Ingestion, taking in. And egestion is the last step of nutrition. Egestion means throwing out. So don't get confused between ingestion and egestion. So now we have finished with all the 5 steps of nutrition. Now we come to the digestion in ruminants. Okay. Now what are ruminants? Ruminants means the grass eating animals, like you have got cow, buffaloes, sheep, horses. All these grass eating animals are called as ruminants. Okay. Now you all must have seen the cow. What does the cow do? You all have seen that the cow first eats the grass. Okay. This also you have studied in the previous classes. It is called as chewing the cud. What does it do? It eats the grass and then it takes the grass to its stomach. This whole part is the stomach. Okay. And where does it go? It goes to the rumen. You can see the rumen. The green colored portion is the rumen. Okay. Now here in the rumen, the grass gets partially digested. It is not fully digested. It is partially digested. And this is called as the cud. Okay. It is called as the cud. And then what does it do? After some time, it brings the cud back to its mouth and keeps on chewing. And this procedure is called as chewing the cud. Okay. And the procedure of chewing the cud is called as rumination. Clear? So there are again 3 terms are there. One is ruminants. Okay. Ruminants means grass eating animals. Okay. Then rumination is the procedure of chewing the cud. And rumen is the part of stomach in the ruminants. Clear? So this is the process of digestion in the ruminants. After chewing the cud, then they finally, when they take to their back to the stomach, and there the process of digestion takes place in the same way. Okay. Now when they eat this grass, the grass contains cellulose. Okay. What does the grass contain? The grass contains cellulose. Now cellulose is a kind of carbohydrate which is present in grass, and this cellulose can be digested only by the ruminants, not by human beings. Why? Because they have got a special kind of bacteria which can digest the cellulose, and we human beings do not have those bacteria, so we cannot digest that cellulose. So even if you eat the grass, you will vomit it. You will not be able to digest it. Okay. So children, please don't try to eat the grass because your body cannot digest it. Okay. Because it contains cellulose. Clear? Now we come to amoeba. The process of digestion in amoeba. Amoeba, you all know, is a single-celled organism. Amoeba is a unicellular organism. Unicellular organism means single-celled organism. In our body, we have got millions of cells which can do various functions. But in amoeba, one single cell does all the function. Okay. Now, how does this process how does the process of nutrition takes place in amoeba? We will see. Okay. Now, amoeba also contains, it is a unicellular organism, so it will have all the things that we studied in a cell. You remember in the first chapter, it has got cell membrane, it has got jelly-like structure called as the cytoplasm, and it has got a nucleus. Okay. Now, what does this amoeba do? Now see, you can see whenever the amoeba sees a food particle, for example, this is a food particle. So, what happens? From any part of the body, it will extend a finger-like projection. Okay. A finger-like projection, and this is called as the pseudopodia. P is silent. It is called as pseudopodia. Okay. Now, this pseudopodia, what does it do? It engulfs the food particle. Engulfs the food particle, and then it goes into the body of the amoeba. And then what happens? It becomes like a food vacuole. Okay, like this. This is a food vacuole. So, the food gets stored here in the food vacuole, and then what happens? The process, all the 5 steps of nutrition, the digestion, absorption, assimilation takes place here. Okay, and then whatever undigested food is remaining, the amoeba, it will from any part of the body, it will break. Okay, it can break from any part. Say it has broken down from here, and then what will happen? This food vacuole will be thrown out of the body. So is it clear to? I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, so what is pseudopodia? Pseudopodia is the false feet. Okay, that means whenever it sees the food particle, this pseudopodia can come out from any part of the amoeba and it will take in the food, and then the procedure of all the nutrition takes place, and then it is thrown out finally again from any part of the body. Okay, so I hope children, the whole chapter is clear to all of you. Again, there is a request that please read the chapter properly, because there are many new terms in this chapter. And if there is any confusion, you can contact me on my personal number. Thank you.